happy spring. So it's about the end of April, and here in the United States, it's about that time where the days start getting longer and it gets warmer outside and the humidity starts to rise. And this is the perfect conditions to propagate your houseplants. So in my last video, I'll put the link in the description. That video went into great detail about my plans for my pothos. And I thought, why can't I apply this same thing to my other plants? Like, I have some plants that are really struggling, or at least not doing as well as I want them to do. I'm being nice, but in real life, some of them are really struggling. I'm kind of hiding one right now behind me. But yeah, so I thought, why can't I do this to my other plants? So I'm going to apply some of that plan that I have for my pothos. I'm going to apply that to my current plants. So in this video, I plan to talk about what my plans are for my Scindapsus collection and my Philodendron collection. I'm gonna get some propagations done, and I'm gonna give you an update on the pothos from last week. It's been a week and things are happening already. So before we get into all of that, let me introduce myself. My name is Yvette Boone. I'm a recovering software engineer and a lifelong creative hobbyist. And here on this channel, we create a safe space for Black women to incorporate hobbies into their wellness practice. So the first collection that I want to get started on is my Scindapsus collection. Reason being is because they actually are doing pretty good. The first one, which is really close nearby me, is the Silvery Ann. This baby is actually not doing too badly. I think I will include a picture of her when I first purchased her. It's been about 2 years. I want to say August of 21. I have a tag here with the date on it. I understand these are slow growers, but I don't think they're that slow of a grower. So I want to rejuvenate her. But she is such a cutie. Look at that. Get into that silver. She's so cute. So yes, this is my Silvery Ann. Another Scindapsus that I have is my EXOTICA, or AKA my erotica exotica. So if you saw my houseplant too, you'll know why I'm calling her that. She, from this angle, looks really good, right? I'm looking at it on the camera. I'm like, girl, what is the problem? Her leaves are ginormous, right? She is really doing good. And I love her leaves. I actually purchased her probably around the same time. So around July or August of 21. This is the problem. I have this long stem of nothing, right? When I look in the dirt, I have 6 stems in the dirt. She has babies, so she's actively growing, and none of her leaves look really bad. Like, this is probably one of the oldest leaves on here, but I still want her to grow fuller than this. So yeah, I want to propagate this one. My next Scindapsus is my TRUEBII Moonlight. She's a beauty. From what I understand, she grows really slow, and I almost agree with that until I put her in this creative studio under that light. When I moved her here, I thought, well, I'll just keep her here for a minute or two. And then I kept noticing every time I watered her that I had more new growth. So she has babies. There are a couple of babies there. One here and one here. She also has a baby here. So she has babies. She's growing really good. She's loving this space. I'm probably going to take a cutting from her and propagate her as well. So for the update, I actually cut those pothos on the 20th of April. And I put into the community post, if you haven't seen already, that by the 25th of April, I saw roots already. And I was like, no way, could that be roots already? So today is Saturday, and I'm probably not going to get a good viewing or showing of it here. I'm going to definitely add a picture so you can see that. But this bad boy already has roots. Because what I did was I had a container that contained all of the water propagations. And what I noticed is that it was really crowded. And because these mandula leaves are really sort of rigid, that they were kind of forcing some of the other pothos. It was bullying them. That's what it was doing. But it was forcing some of the other pothos cuttings to either be too deep in the water or not deep enough. So I found this other little reservoir, and I said, I'll put those cuttings into another wet reservoir. So the other cuttings are behind me. They're still doing their thing. I'm going to wait until about maybe Monday to actually look because I don't want to disturb anything. But this one was clear and I could see it, and I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. And oh my goodness, the CEBU blue. It's the CEBU blue. The CEBU blue is doing things already. So they had already started rooting like within 5 days, and the roots have gotten so much longer. I mean, even since that day. Well, you can see that here, that the mandula is starting to root. So I'm super excited about that. I don't want the roots to get too long before I do something with it, but these are doing fantastic. I'm excited about that. To me, this is super early, but I'll take it. I like it. I'm okay with that. And this is the mother plant. So here, I cut here, and already there is new growth. Oh, here's one. I cut there, and then the new growth is coming out there. And there's one more that's doing the same thing. I won't bore you trying to find it, even though I'm still looking for it. But I think what's going to happen with this is going to do quite well. Like it, even when I'm looking at it on camera, it doesn't look bad, but I really want it to be fuller than this. I have a lot of CEBU blue cuttings, and there are about 5 in here, and there's probably maybe about 8 in the propagation box. So I should have a good number of opportunities to get this right. So far, this is the update on the pothos from last week's video. If you haven't seen that, I'm gonna add a link in the description. So if you've liked my update so far, or the plants that I've chosen to propagate, give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, come on and join the family. I just wanted to say that as of this video, and I haven't looked in about an hour, but the last time I checked, we were over 170 of us that are in this community. Ooh, I'm so excited. So I put up a post on the community tab that there were 150 of us, and since then 20 some odd more people joined. So I'm so excited. Thank you guys for supporting me and joining my planty community family. I really appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate you watching my videos. It is so nice to know that there are other people just as excited about hobbies and plants as me, and I'm fully appreciative of the fact that you took the time to let me know that by joining, by commenting in the comments, by liking my videos. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's get into the real struggle plants, because if you thought that the Scindapsus was struggling, I got something for you. In my houseplant tour video, I showed this baby in the houseplant tour video. At that time, and I'm gonna add a picture, at that time she had no leaves. This is what has happened since that video, and that was sort of like about 40 or more days ago. She did that. So she started growing leaves. I know that watering this plant from the bottom, or heavily watering this plant, especially when it did not have leaves, would not be a great idea, because the only thing that was using the water in this pot would have been the roots. And so I decided to water from the top and just water just enough so that a drip or two of water came out, and that was it, because I knew it had no leaves to pull that water out and utilize that water. So I kept the water really light but consistent. And before I get too much into this, This is a philodendron. Hederaceum? No. Philodendron cordatum. Almost had it right. This is the neon. So my philodendron collection, I have about five different plants in my philodendron collection, and this is one of my favorite, although you can't tell by what she's going through right now. But I think too, I also have a picture of what she looked like when I first got her. She is so cute. I mean, when she comes back, when she bounces back, you guys are gonna be truly impressed, because she is a cutie pie. And I think she will do really well and give me the Lush vibes. But right now, she owns some, so I'm not going to give her the business because it's totally my fault. But I am going to cut her up, propagate a lot of her stems, and we're going to push this mother plant to get her to grow, because she's doing it though, because she's bouncing back. You notice that she has a little bit of like a bronzy color in her leaves, and that's just the way when they open up, when they first open up, they get this little bronzy look to them, and then they turn chartreuse, really bright, opaque type chartreuse. It is a beautiful, beautiful plant. So I can't wait for her to bounce back completely. I am going to love her unconditionally, and I'm not going to let this happen again. I hope. Okay, so let me show you a non-struggle plant. How about that? So this is, I think this is the Philodendron Hederaceum. Yes. So this is not the Brazil, but this is the cousin of the Brazil, or maybe even a parent of the Brazil. So very similar to the Brazil, except it doesn't have any variegation to it. And if you notice, I have super big leaves like this one. This is probably one of the originals. And then I have super small leaves. Cute, but small. So what's going on is, because I am allowing this to grow as a hanging plant, the leaves are getting smaller. And so what's going to eventually happen is all of these big leaves are going to live its best life, and then it's going to die off as it normally would, and I'm going to be left with a ball top. So what I plan to do to mitigate that is I am going to root some of these. I'm going to propagate some of these. That's going to force it to push some more new growth up at the top, and I'm going to add some more stems. Now this one actually is full of stems. It has many of them in here, but I'm not sure what's going to happen when this plant decides to drop these big OG leaves. At some point it is going to do that, and I just want to be prepared for it. But she is actually doing pretty well. I have her right now in my kitchen, so she's doing pretty good. Another philodendron that I have is this is a Philodendron Moonlight. I don't have the full name for this. I feel like this is a Hederaceum too, but this is a cutie too. So this does not live in the creative studio at all. I rarely bring her in here. Maybe once or twice in the summer sometimes, but really not that much. She actually sits in a bay window in my living room area, and she gets good light. The funny thing about it is she gets better light in the winter. So this is why I end up bringing her in here in the summer, because in the winter, the trees don't have any leaves and she gets a good amount of sun. So in the summer is when I usually will give her some time in the creative studio to catch some of these lights, but she's actually doing pretty good. I have about 4 plantlets in here. So she's actually doing pretty good. This is not a part of the propagation movement right now. In the near future, I might consider propagating her. I just feel like she has enough plants to grow a full plant. So I think she's going to be okay. The next plant I have is the Philodendron Brazil. So I'm pretty sure, because if you notice, a lot of my plants are common house plants, and there is a very good reason for that. I like plants that are going to thrive. I like plants that propagate easily and quickly and grow quickly. Some of these plants this is my first time having them, and because I like to travel, or I want to travel, I don't want plants that someone would be afraid to come in and take care of for me. and that if I do happen to make a mistake and leave them for too long, that I can bring them back to life. So this is part of the reason why my collection has a lot of common house plants in them. Plus, I actually love them. This brings me back to a time when I was a kid, and this is what I remember as a kid. This and spider plants and, oh my goodness, the dumb cane. Yeah, these are plants that remind me of my childhood. So I love these things. But she is actually doing pretty good. I love this plant. I love the colors of this plant. I love the markings on this plant. She propagates really easily, so I will be propagating her as well, because the same thing with the jade version is that once these big leaves die off, it's already starting to happen now where it's getting a little slim up here. I have 2 pots of the Philodendron Brazil. The plan for this pot is I want to put her on the pole. You know, I want to put her on a moss pole or some sort of plank or something, because I want to see if I can get the leaves to grow bigger. So I'm going to put her on the pole, y'all, see if she can do what she do. So I'm excited about that. She has quite a good little bit of length to her. I think I'll put up a picture of what she looked like when I got her and the difference in how fast they grow versus the Scindapsus. Yeah, I'm excited. But she will be propagated as well. Let's really get into what the real struggle plant was. And I think this too was in the houseplant tour video. And so don't judge me. Ooh, okay. All right. Okay, say something nice. Her leaves are beautiful, right? Look at her leaves. Look at them. They are so pretty. They look like velvet, right? Even if they don't actually feel like velvet, they look like velvet. So I love this plant. I do have a picture of her when I first purchased her, and she did look a lot better. So the plan is, okay, so this is how I'm reading this plant. I'm looking at this area here, and she's very sparse. It's understandable, right? Because these would have been the new or the old leaves, the ones that she came with. And as she's acclimating to my conditions and she gets older, she's going to lose those leaves. But yet she's pushing new growth here, right? Which she has done. And these leaves will be smaller because they are hanging or vining. So they will be smaller. I'm looking at how close the nodes are together. That's not bad at all, right? And so when I moved her in a less bright condition, she did a lot better. She is doing a lot better. So all this new growth down here tells me that she's now in the right space. All that being said, she still needs more help. So I'm going to go off, cut these propagations, and I'm going to meet you back here in a sec. So, a couple of things that you did not see was me preparing the plant for propagation. I want to do a full video on that because there's a couple of things that I like to ensure that the plant is ready, right? And I didn't make the formula myself, but I found the formula on YouTube and I reduced it down so that I can make a smaller batch. I will share that. I will also share a link with that. So I'm going to create a whole new video. So my next video is going to be about how you prepare your plants for propagation. So hopefully we enjoyed this little propagation, me going through my goals and extending my goal from my Pothos On to my Scindapsus and my Philodendrons. By the end of this summer, I want to have really lush, beautiful plants. Now, I chopped that MICANS back pretty hard. I've never done that before because it's my first time even owning a MICANS. So I don't know how she's going to appreciate that. I can tell you that I have tried to propagate her before and they didn't go so well. So this is all an experiment when it comes to the MICANS. So fingers crossed that everything works out right. If it doesn't, it'll give me a reason to buy new plants. Right now, I have added 2 more jars of propagation. So being that my golden pothos is reverting to green, I just decided I would chop it back a little bit, propagate it, and I'm gonna add these to my jade pothos that I have already propagating because I didn't have that many of them. So I have some MICANS in here with the jade. From what I understand, pothos cuttings, when you propagate in water, they supposedly help other propagations to grow their roots faster. I don't know. But every time I propagate, I throw a little piece of pothos in there and it works. So why not? I'm always willing to make my pothos a little bit bigger. So, oh, one more. Let me show you. Okay, and this is really full. I probably in midweek, probably in a couple of days, I'm gonna be checking these leaves to see if any of them are getting wilty, and if so, I probably will make another jar and pull some of these out and add those in. The reason I like it full is because then I know that they're not falling through, but sometimes there are some that don't get quite all the way to the water, and I want to make sure that everybody is getting some water. So that is my propagation for my Scindapsus and my Philodendron. There's a couple of pothos in here, and we have 1, 2, oh, we have right many. That's 4, 6 bags of wet sticks. I've had some success with wet sticks before, but these are different plants, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So I will keep you updated on what's going. Everything is labeled and dated, so we'll know how long it takes to do something. I will open them up, maybe once a day, once every other day, to make sure that they're getting some new air through there, and I'll be checking for mold and things like that. Hopefully we won't have any mold. But yeah, that's the propagation. I'm gonna stick these MICANS in this bag here, and I'm gonna put them on the shelf somewhere close to lights, but not under the light, right? So if you haven't already, give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead on and subscribe and join the community. I haven't checked since I've been recording, but like I said, last time I checked, we had about a little over 170 subscribers to the channel. So excited. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That word gives me so much trouble. And check out the next video. The next video will be about preparing your plants for propagation. There's a little bit of legwork before you propagate to ensure that your propagations are gonna go fine. So until we talk again, have a great day. Bye.